Iced coffee is the perfect summer treat and always feels special and refreshing. The aftermath of adultery isn't pretty for anyone involved, but when it's a celebrity affair, things can get especially messy. From Oscar winners to reality stars, and singers to sports icons, these celebs have dealt with more than just public disdain for their bad bedroom behavior. It's also taken a toll on their careers. Some celebs, like Jude and LeAnn, have faced the music and addressed their bad press head on, owning up to the circumstances of the past. Others, like Ryan Phillippe, have pushed back, eventually claiming that enough is enough. Meg Ryan went the same route, eventually spilling the tea on her own relationship, but more on that in a bit. The careers of some scandalous stars, Here's Looking at You, Tiger Woods, are showing signs of new life, while others, cough cough, Jesse James, are going nowhere fast. Let's take a closer look at some celebs who were entangled in affairs that ruined their careers. Billy Crudup's affair paused his career for a few decades. Billy Crudup put the crud in his own name when he notoriously ditched his then 7 months pregnant girlfriend of 8 years, actress Mary Louise Parker, to have an affair with his stage beauty co-star, Claire Danes, in 2003. Before the bad publicity, Crudup had earned Hollywood headliner status in films such as Without Limits, Almost Famous and Big Fish. I love finding the right balance for my morning drink and I enjoy iced coffee well into fall and winter. Brewing your own iced coffee at home is an easy and cheap way to enjoy this treat all summer long. He was fast establishing himself as a true talent on his way to the top, but the aftermath of his highly publicized betrayal impacted his reputation and star power. More than a decade later, Danes reflected on the avalanche of bad press that accompanied their romance. That was really hard, she told Howard Stern via Us Weekly. I was just in love with him, and needed to explore that, and I was 24. I spoke with baristas and some serious iced coffee enthusiasts about how to brew the perfect cup day after day. I didn't quite know what those consequences would be. Her career rebounded, and today she's well known for the long-running series Homeland, but Crudup's superstar status fizzled. From filtered water to fresh coffee beans, the details matter when it comes to this drink. Here are just a few of the ways you may be messing up your iced coffee. It's too weak. This is probably the most common iced coffee mistake. He still gets plenty of work, but he's often a supporting or ensemble actor rather than a leading man. On the upside, he reportedly has a great relationship with his son, William Parker, and he thinks his best years in Hollywood are yet to come. I feel like my 50s are when I'm going to really shine, he told Mr. Porter. Rupert Sanders's affair cost him his career and his marriage when this British director was chosen to helm Universal Pictures' fairy tale live-action vehicle Snow White and the Huntsman for his feature film debut. It seemed like the start of a promising career for Rupert Sanders, but just a few weeks after the film's lackluster theatrical debut, he and Huntsman star Kristen Stewart were captured in a compromising position together. You need a lot of ice to cool off your drink, but that tends to water it down. The best tip is to brew extra strong coffee to offset the ice. Dunkin' Donuts shared their secrets for the perfect iced coffee and recommended always double brewing your coffee, so that once you add the ice, you'll have the perfect flavor. Both issued public apologies for the affair. Stewart had cheated on her Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson, and Sanders was unfaithful to his wife of 10 years, Liberty Ross, with whom he has 2 kids. K-Stew fizzled, Ross and Sanders divorced, and nothing substantial transpired between Stewart and her boss, who were both absent from the film's sequel. While Stewart's career has continued to progress following the scandal, it took Sanders years to secure a second feature directorial gig with 2017's Ghost in the Shell, which was crushed by critics. The melting ice weakens the coffee's taste, which is why iced coffee is brewed stronger to begin with. Rob Stephen, manager, product development for Dunkin' Donuts, Inc., shared in a press release. At the time, he was still imploring the public to forgive and forget. The restaurant recommended using 4 teaspoons of ground coffee for every cup of iced coffee you plan to make. Everyone makes mistakes. Once you've brewed your drink, keep it in a glass jar in the refrigerator. You're using regular ice cubes. One way to avoid watering your coffee down with ice cubes is to use coffee for ice, too. Food blogger Elise Bauer swears by coffee ice cubes. Besides your iced coffee, you can also use these coffee ice cubes in smoothies, cocktails, or blitz them in a blender to make a quick coffee granita to serve for dessert, she shared in a blog post. The next time you have leftover coffee, freeze it into cubes instead of pouring it down the drain. Even Starbucks is going to start offering coffee ice cubes, but it'll cost you. Starting in some cafes this summer, you'll be able to enjoy your iced coffee with coffee ice cubes for 80 cents more. Your sugar isn't dissolved. I love a nice black iced coffee, but sometimes I'm in the mood for something a bit sweeter. I am bound to make more mistakes, and I wouldn't expect my life to be exciting if I didn't, he told Vanity Fair, adding, if you took people off the table for a momentary lapse, there would be no one making art. Jude Law was the originator of the nanny affair. Jude Law's dalliances with his children's nanny became a true celebrity spectacle. However, when the coffee is too cold, oftentimes nut milk or sugar won't dissolve, and I end up with a grainy, powdery drink. No thank you. For the perfectly blended iced coffee, food blogger and cookbook author Rhee recommends making your own simple syrup. The actor's paramour went public with the alleged details of their romantic episodes, and so he eventually issued a public apology for the affair, declaring that he was deeply ashamed and upset. It wasn't the first time he'd been accused of stepping out, but the high-profile nature of his relationship with actress Sienna Miller made Law's cuckolding that much more damaging to his career. Before his transgression, Law enjoyed a list status with leading roles in The Talented Mr. Ripley, Cold Mountain, and Closer, but after the affair, it took years for him to recoup his mainstream appeal by way of the Sherlock Holmes films. A batch should last you for a few weeks, unless you like to douse your coffee in sugary goodness. His career is doing just fine these days, perhaps because he's keeping his personal life low-key. LeAnn Rimes and Eddie Cibrian's affair happened right on screen. The Twitter wars and shocking headlines that still surround LeAnn Rimes' marriage to actor Eddie Cibrian make it easy to forget that she's actually a renowned country music artist and author. No judgment here, Rhee wrote in a blog post. Then you can add a splash of milk or half and half, although I highly recommend the latter. You could also sweeten your coffee while it's still hot to ensure your sweetener dissolves, then cool it off. You're using the wrong water when making iced coffee. I tend to focus on the type of coffee I'm using, rather than the water. Rimes met Cibrian, who was then married to future The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Brandi Glanville, while she was on the set of the 2009 TV movie Northern Lights. Rimes was also married at the time to dancer Dean Sharamet. The demise of their respective marriages and the lasting bitterness with Glanville, who is the mother of Cibrian's 2 children, continues to overshadow Rimes' professional pursuits. Rimes' acting career stalled, and her record sales have also suffered. Before the affair, she'd nabbed a whopping 6 Grammy nominations, and 2 wins. After the scandal, Rimes earned just 1 Grammy nod in 2011 for Swingin', and her 2013 album, Spitfire, tallied disappointing sales, despite it being her turn to tell the truth about all that personal drama. Cibrian's career hasn't fared any better. However, because coffee is mostly made up of water, it makes sense that the right filtered water will make a difference in the taste. Certified barista and head of quality control at Café Virtuoso, Ryan Phillippe, schooled me on the importance of water when it comes to your favorite drink. Most commonly, people don't use properly filtered water, and since water is 97 to 98.5% of coffee, using great water is a must, she told me. You're letting it sit too long. Even if you double brew your coffee, if you let it sit on the counter all morning while the ice melts, it's going to taste watered down. You'll also probably never make it again, because it took too long. One strategy to try is using a cocktail shaker. In fact, in their reality show, yes, they decided to create a VH1 series called LeAnn and Eddie. He actually defends himself against haters who think he's living off his wife's music earnings. Contrary to what some people think, pretends to cough my ex-wife, I do actually work, he says on the show, via the Daily Mail. Tiger Woods' affair sent his game right into the bunker. Few professional golfers have ever earned the kind of household name status of Tiger Woods, and even fewer have watched their reputations sink into the mud quite like his did in 2009, when his many extramarital affairs were unearthed.
Woods had been married to Swedish model Ellen Nordegren since 2004, and she'd just given birth to their second child when the tabloids unearthed one of Woods's relationships with another woman. Nordegren's own investigation reportedly exposed even more dalliances, prompting a single-vehicle crash heard round the world. The neighbor may raise her eyebrows when she sees you shaking up a drink at 7 in the morning, but it's the fastest way to get your iced coffee cold. Simply pour in your freshly brewed hot coffee and ice cubes, then shake it up. Your coffee beans are too old. Iced coffee is such a refreshing treat in the summer, so it's a shame to take a sip of an overly bitter drink. No longer a family-friendly face, Woods lost millions in endorsement deals and was even blamed for billions in shareholder losses. To get the best bang for your buck when it comes to coffee, use the fresh stuff. Choose a great freshly brewed coffee that's well balanced, and has flavor components that you want to exemplify, Phillippe told me. His golf game suffered as a result of the personal drama, too. Woods's career on the green briefly recovered in 2013, but it didn't take long for his personal proclivities to tarnish his image yet again. Store in an airtight container, and try to consume within the first 2 weeks of buying. After that, the coffee will become stale. New allegations surfaced, claiming he'd cheated on girlfriend Lindsey Vonn, a beloved Olympic skier. Coupled with his 2017 arrest for driving under the influence, it looked like the damage done to Woods' reputation may be irreversible, or was it? In September 2018, Woods earned his 80th PGA Tour win, and according to ESPN, thousands of spectators engulfed him on his walk to victory while chanting and cheering his name. Did the public forgive and forget? Will corporate America follow suit? Only time will tell. Gavin Rossdale and Jude Law have something in common. Although he broke into the entertainment biz in the mid-90s, thanks to the popularity of his grunge rock band Bush, Gavin Rossdale was largely known as Mr. Gwen Stefani after the turn of the millennium. His long-lived marriage to the former No Doubt frontwoman, who went on to enjoy a solo career and made a name for herself as a bold fashionista, socialite, and the voice coach, kept Rossdale on our radar too. Always freshly grind with a burr grinder as well. It's too boring. Iced coffee is an easy, refreshing treat, but don't subject you and your taste buds to boring coffee all summer long. Stefani even made a few cameos on his tour stops to increase the buzz surrounding his shows, but that all changed when Rossdale allegedly cheated on Stefani with their nanny. There are plenty of ways to jazz it up, so get creative. Adding almond or cashew milk gives your coffee a sweet, nutty flavor. The creamy nut milk will also cover up any remaining bitterness. Stefani supposedly found out about it through illicit texts and photos that were discovered on one of their son's tablets. At this point, it looks like Rossdale may forever be known as the guy who cheated on America's punk princess. His subsequent professional efforts, such as starring in The Voice UK, have been overshadowed by his personal drama, and by Stefani's in-your-face rebound romance with country star and fellow voice coach Blake Shelton. Rossdale might have made a name for himself as a heartthrob musician, but nowadays, even he knows he's got some work to do to restore his reputation. Did unconfirmed affairs derail Ben Affleck's superhero status? Another half of a Hollywood power couple who ended up embroiled in a nanny scandal was Oscar-winning actor Ben Affleck, whose life became the stuff of tabloid fodder as he simultaneously realized his lifelong dream of portraying Batman for Batman v. If you're a coconut fan, try coconut milk for a smooth finish. Spice up your coffee with a cinnamon stick or a dash of nutmeg. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Head of education at Toby's estate in Brooklyn, Ali Caron told Bon Appetit that adding lavender, basil, and mint to your coffee is refreshing in the summers. Or combine your iced coffee with another refreshing summer drink. Affleck allegedly cheated on his wife, actress Jennifer Garner, with their children's nanny in 2015. Affleck's rep denied the reports, but the couple separated soon after rumors of the affair emerged. That wasn't the last of the cheating allegations overshadowing Affleck. When his relationship with SNL producer Lindsay Shookus was made public, reports claimed they were fooling around for years before his divorce from Garner was announced. Affleck was riding high before his reputation became embroiled in bad press. He won an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay for Good Will Hunting and another Oscar for Best Picture for Argo, not to mention earning critical acclaim for his work in Gone Girl, among other career wins. However, his star status has faded significantly since the implosion of Bennifer. Not only has Affleck endured several box office bombs, including Justice League and Passion Project Live by Night, but he's also become something of a punchline. Jesse James's affairs landed him in rehab. Perhaps no celebrity has been quite as universally shamed for his bad behavior as Jesse James. Mix cold brew concentrate with equal parts coconut water. It tastes like chocolate milk, barista at New York City's Café Grumpy Solomon Olmsted told Bon Appetit. You're paying for extra water. Of course, making your iced coffee at home will be easier on your wallet in the long run. However, there are just those days when it's not going to happen. During his marriage to beloved actress Sandra Bullock, he was a successful motorcycle manufacturer and reality TV star. Some days you'll find yourself ordering your iced coffee at a coffee shop, and that's okay. He founded West Coast Choppers and starred on the hit series Monster Garage. Just make sure to get your order right. Always order your iced coffee with light ice. Not only will this keep your coffee from becoming watered down right away, but with less ice in that cup, there will be more room for delicious coffee. You haven't tried the Vietnamese way. I had never heard of Vietnamese iced coffee before writing this article, but now it's all I can think about. It's a decadent, creamy treat perfect for the heat. This sweet drink combines 1 part strong coffee and 1 part sweet condensed milk. The Austin-based muscle man was married to Bullock for several years and stood at her side as she won the Oscar for Best Actress for The Blind Side in 2010. Soon after her stellar awards season, which included a Golden Globe speech dedicated to James, allegations about his infidelity exploded in the press. It got so bad that James publicly apologized to his wife and checked into a rehabilitation facility. As lurid details about his behavior flooded the tabloids, Bullock filed for divorce. James quickly struck up an ill-fated relationship with LA Inc.'s Kat Von D, but that ended in an even more salacious news cycle. For the real thing, you'll need a Vietnamese filter called a fin. He has since had trouble rebuilding his reputation and his career. Filter the coffee into your mug using the fin, then spoon in the condensed milk. Stir in the ice, and whip up a creamy summer treat for your next brunch. He attempted to get back to what made him popular in the first place, his talents as a motorcycle mechanic, with the 2012 Discovery Channel series Jesse James, Outlaw Garage, but that show kicked the bucket quickly. Ryan Phillippe's resume went bust post-Rhee. The amount of fan furor that followed the demise of Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe's relationship was intense. The pair had starred as romantic leads in the angsty 1999 romantic drama Cruel Intentions and attracted a generation of ardent followers deeply invested in the couple's marriage and 2 kids. Many thought theirs would be a happily ever after, but the union fell apart after 8 years. Fans were furious when rumors emerged that Phillippe cheated on Witherspoon, who had thanked her wonderful husband for loving her so much, as she received the 2006 Academy Award for Best Actress for Walk the Line. That very same year, Phillippe allegedly stepped out with his stop-loss co-star Abby Cornish. Even though their divorce filing cited irreconcilable differences, rather than an affair, and even though he said Cornish was not the genuine cause his split, and even though the exes successfully co-parent their kids, Phillippe's career has never quite recovered from the negative press associated with the breakup. This will beat a frozen coffeehouse drink any day. You're skipping breakfast. It doesn't matter how perfect your iced coffee is. Seemingly overnight, he lost the Hollywood heartthrob status he'd once boasted in films such as I Know What You Did Last Summer and Flags of Our Fathers. He has since grown weary of the public's vitriol. I'm tired of getting ****T on, he said. I don't feel like I deserve it. If you just opt for that in the morning and skip breakfast, you're going to end up feeling shaky and starving by mid-morning. If you never feel hungry in the morning, try beefing up your iced coffee with fruits and nutrients to make a smoothie on the run. Things happen. Meg Ryan's affair with Russell Crowe was the beginning of the end. During Meg Ryan's heyday, she was one of America's most in-demand screen sweethearts. This coffee breakfast smoothie from Natalie's Food and Health looks absolutely dreamy and gives you a full breakfast with oats and chia seeds. You're not cold brewing. You may have thought cold brew was just iced coffee with a different name, but it's not. Turns out cold brew has a completely different brewing process and smoother finish.
Ryan nabbed the romantic lead in a slew of successful pictures that included Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally, City of Angels, and You've Got Mail, but her girl next door image was completely sullied when rumors emerged about a tryst with Proof of Life co-star Russell Crowe. It may become your new summer drink. Cold brew has become very popular over the last few years, certified barista Savannah Phillips told me. The tabloid frenzied affair was publicly perceived as the reason for her divorce from her husband of 9 years, Dennis Quaid, and led to a serious decline in her popularity. I definitely have moments of wanting to straighten it all out and tell everyone what really went down, but you know, who would I be proving anything to? She told Harper's Bazaar via People of the media fracas that followed her seemingly salacious split. It's simply coarsely ground coffee that is steeped in water at room temperature or in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. This is not to be confused with iced coffee, as that is brewed hot coffee or espresso and poured over ice to rapidly chill. I recently tried cold brew for the first time and was hooked right away. She also denied that her fling with Crowe was the reason for the divorce. My marriage was breaking up long before it became a matter of public discussion, though there may be plenty of blame to go around. It was Ryan's career that suffered a dramatic slump. It tastes very similar to iced coffee, but there's no bitter aftertaste. The main reason why so many people enjoy cold brew is that this method produces a very smooth and easy to drink coffee, has very low acidity, and nicely showcases the coffees typically chosen for this brewing method, which tend to have chocolatey, malty, and caramel-like flavor characteristics. shared Phillips. Proof of Life bombed at the box office, and the Golden Globe-nominated actress has yet to wield the marquee status that made her such a household name in the 90s. Try it this summer. For the perfect cold brew, just like with iced coffee, you have to use the right techniques and ingredients to get the perfect cold brew. Just as in iced coffee, most commonly, for cold brew, people don't use good filtered water, but also grind the coffee way too fine. Phillips told me, since the steep time is relatively lengthy, a super coarse grind is required. Think French press. Pick a great coffee that's well balanced, and has flavor components that you want to exemplify.